The River Nile, a lifeline, flowing through the desert. For thousands of years, this river has given life. It watered crops. It was a way to travel. The Nile was the birthplace of one of the world's first great civilizations, ancient Egypt. We often think of civilizations growing all alone, but what if that isn't the whole story? What if the Nile Valley civilizations weren't just a single event? What if they influenced places far away? This is a story about connections. It's about how the people of the Nile interacted with the wider world. This sharing led to new knowledge, genes, and culture spreading. Imagine dropping a stone into a still pond, ripples spread out, touching every part of the pond. The Nile's influence might have spread similarly. People moved, they traded, they fought wars. All these things left a mark, not just on the land, but on the very DNA of the people. This is where our story gets interesting, because recent discoveries in genetics are changing how we understand the past. We can now follow ancient migrations. We can find genetic links between people who seem very different. For a long time we used archaeology and written records to piece together the story of humanity, but these records are sometimes incomplete. They can be biased or unclear. Genetics offers a new way to see the past, a clearer way. By analyzing the DNA of ancient remains, we're discovering a much more complex and interconnected history than we ever thought possible. This series will explore this new history. We'll explore how the people of the Nile Valley interacted with their neighbors to the north. We'll uncover the surprising genetic legacy of these encounters, and we'll see how these interactions shaped civilization. History isn't just in books, it's in our DNA. Inside us is the story of our ancestors, their journeys, their struggles, their interactions with other human species. For a long time, we thought human evolution was a straight line, from apes to modern humans, but it's much more complicated. We now know that early humans mixed with other hominid species, Neanderthals, Denisovans. These weren't separate branches on the family tree, they were intertwined, sharing genes and making us who we are today. When these ancient humans left Africa, they weren't alone. They carried the genetic legacy of these encounters, and these genes, passed down through families, were very important for the survival of these early pioneers. Imagine getting a gift from a distant relative, a gift that helps you thrive in a tough environment. This is what happened to the descendants of those who mixed with Neanderthals and Denisovans. Take, for example, the gene EPAS1. Found in modern-day Tibetans, this gene helps them live at high altitudes. Where did they get this amazing adaptation? From the Denisovans. These ancient hominids were already used to the thin air of the Tibetan plateau. And it's not just altitude. Neanderthal genes are linked to our immune systems, helping us fight off illnesses. These genetic advantages, gained through interbreeding, were very important for survival in new and difficult environments. How do we know all of this? How can we trace these genetic connections over thousands of years? The answer is in the amazing field of ancient DNA analysis. Scientists can now get DNA from ancient bones, even bones that are tens of thousands of years old. By comparing this ancient DNA with modern human DNA, they can follow migrations, find interbreeding events, and piece together the story of our past. These genetic maps tell a fascinating story. They show us that the descendants of Neanderthals and Denisovans didn't just stay in one place. They moved all over the world, taking their unique genetic heritage with them. Of all our ancient relatives, the Denisovans are perhaps the most mysterious. We have very few fossils, yet their genetic legacy is everywhere, particularly in Asia and Oceania. Why were Denisovan genes so successful? Some scientists think it's because they were adapted to a wider range of environments than Neanderthals, from the freezing heights of the Tibetan plateau to the tropical islands of Southeast Asia. The Denisovans, though less well known, left a big mark on our species. Their genes, passed down through families, still influence our biology and our ability to survive in different environments. Imagine the world thousands of years ago, people on the move, looking for new lands, resources and opportunities. From the Nile Valley, a birthplace of civilization, people traveled north, taking with them the knowledge, skills and genes that had helped them thrive. These weren't random wanderings. People followed rivers, mountain passes and coastlines. They navigated by the stars, their journeys full of challenges and opportunities. Along the way, they found diverse environments and different people. This northward migration wasn't a single event. It happened in waves over many generations, each wave adding to the mix of human diversity that we see today. These journeys were vital in spreading ideas, technology and culture far beyond the Nile. As people moved north, they met communities already living in these harsher environments. These were the descendants of ancient interbreeding events, carrying within them the DNA of Neanderthals and Denisovans. Imagine the scene. Two groups, different in looks and culture, meeting for the first time. What did they think of each other? What language did they speak? How did they communicate? Despite their differences, they found ways to interact, to trade, to live together, and sometimes to fight. These encounters weren't always peaceful. Competition for resources and land sometimes caused conflict. But even through these conflicts, there was an exchange of ideas, of technology, and most importantly, of genes. When cultures meet, they don't always clash. Sometimes they mix, they learn from each other, creating something new and exciting. This mixing of cultures was a key part of these ancient encounters. The Nile Valley people brought with them advanced farming practices, sophisticated social structures, and a rich artistic tradition. The northern tribes, used to living in difficult environments for generations, had their own unique knowledge and skills. Through these interactions, new technologies emerged. New ways of building, farming, and organizing societies. This wasn't just a one-way street. The northern tribes, with their knowledge of local resources and their resilience, made their own important contributions. For centuries, we could only guess about these ancient interactions, relying on incomplete archaeological evidence and interpretations of old texts. But now, thanks to advances in genetics, we have a powerful new tool. Scientists like Svante Pääbo have developed ways to extract and analyze DNA from ancient remains. This ancient DNA unlocks the secrets of our past. It allows us to track migration patterns, identify interbreeding events, and even work out what our ancestors looked like. This genetic data gives us real evidence of the interactions between these groups. It confirms what archaeologists and historians have long suspected, that human history is complicated, interconnected, and much more complex than we previously thought. Today, millions of people carry within them the genetic echoes of these ancient encounters. Traces of Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA are still present in modern human populations, a reminder of the power of these ancient interactions. These genetic traces aren't just interesting relics of the past, they affect us today, influencing our health, our chances of getting certain diseases, and even our ability to adapt to different environments. The story of human migration and cultural exchange is in our genes. It's a story that challenges simple ideas of race and ethnicity. It reminds us that we are all connected, descendants of a long and complex family tree that goes back to the beginning of humanity. Imagine a huge grassy plain, stretching for thousands of miles. This is the Eurasian steppe, a beautiful but harsh land, scorching hot summers, freezing cold winters. Yet for those who knew how to listen, the steppes had secrets to tell, secrets of survival, secrets of power. The people of the steppe were nomads. They moved with their animals, horses, sheep, cows. Their lives followed the seasons. They were skilled riders, fierce warriors. Their survival depended on their ability to adapt and conquer. Within these nomadic tribes flowed the blood of ancient ancestors, the Denisovans. Their genes, passed down through families, gave the steppe people resilience, an ability to thrive in the most difficult environments. Section 2, the Xiongnu Rise of a Power. From the steppes of Mongolia came a powerful force, the Xiongnu, a group of nomadic tribes, united under one leader, the Shanyu. The Xiongnu were experts in fighting on horseback. Their horses, bred for speed and stamina, gave them a big advantage. Like a growing storm, the Xiongnu swept across the steppes, conquering other tribes, expanding their territory. Their raids on settled civilizations to their south became more daring, more frequent, scaring the empires. The Xiongnu were more than just raiders. They were skilled diplomats, clever traders. They knew the importance of alliances, of making their enemies fight each other. Their rise to power would change Asia. Section 3. Clash of Civilizations. South of the steppes was a mighty empire, the Han Dynasty of China. For centuries, the Chinese had seen the nomads with dislike and fear, thinking of them as barbarians, a threat to their civilized way of life. The Xiongnu raids challenged the Han Dynasty, forcing the Chinese to build defenses, to raise huge armies. The Great Wall itself was made longer and stronger to try and stop the nomads. The conflict between the Xiongnu and the Han Dynasty was more than just a war. It was a clash of cultures, of different ways of life. The nomadic, decentralized society of the Xiongnu versus the centralized, bureaucratic empire of the Han. Section 4. Governance on the steppe. The Nile Valley civilizations, with their pharaohs and pyramids, were a very different kind of power. Theirs was a world of central control, of huge buildings, of complex social classes. The Xiongnu didn't need pyramids. Their power came from their mobility, their adaptability. Their decisions were made by agreement, by tribal elders. Their laws were based on tradition, on family ties. Each system had good and bad points. The central power of the Nile civilizations allowed for big projects, but it also made them vulnerable to problems from within. The decentralized nature of the Xiongnu made them hard to conquer, but it also limited how big their empires could get, at least for a while. Section 5. Seeds of Empires. The Xiongnu, though eventually pushed back by the Han Dynasty, left a lasting impact. They showed that nomadic tribes, often seen as barbarians, could be a serious threat to even the strongest empires. Their success was partly due to their Denisovan heritage. The genes they inherited from their ancient ancestors gave them an advantage, helping them thrive in the tough conditions of the steppe. The Xiongnu also benefited from cultural exchange. They adopted technologies and ideas from their neighbors, making them part of their own way of life. Their rise marked the start of a new era, where nomadic empires would rise and fall, shaping the lives of millions. The steppes had secrets of survival. These vast open plains, stretching endlessly under the sky, were home to ancient peoples whose stories are etched not just in the earth but in our very being. Secrets passed down, not just through stories but within our DNA. The double helix carries whispers of the past, a genetic memory that transcends time, connecting us to those who walked these lands long before us. The Denisovans, barely known from fossils, left a lasting mark on those who inherited their genes. These ancient bones, unearthed from the depths of time, tell a story of resilience and adaptation, a story that continues to shape us today. This inheritance, a sign of the power of adaptation, allowed groups like the Xiongnu to thrive in very harsh environments. The Denisovan legacy provided them with the strength and endurance needed to survive and flourish in the most unforgiving landscapes. These tough people, shaped by the extremes of the Eurasian steppe, used the Denisovan legacy, their endurance, a hidden strength in their rise to power. They faced the biting cold, the relentless winds, and the barren lands with a tenacity that was passed down through generations. They rode, they conquered, they built empires, their very existence a testament to the lasting impact of this ancient lineage. On horseback, they traversed vast distances, their conquests and constructions a reflection of the enduring spirit inherited from their Denisovan ancestors. The Denisovan story reminds us that the past is always with us. In the quiet moments, in the peaceful scenes of ancient communities, we see the echoes of their lives, a reminder that history is never truly gone. It lives on, not just in our memories, but in who we are. The essence of the Denisovans is woven into the fabric of our being, a silent yet powerful presence that shapes our identity and our destiny. Their resilience echoes even today, reminding us that human evolution is a complex story made up of many threads, some clear and obvious, others hidden, but just as important. The Denisovan legacy is one such thread, a vital part of the intricate tapestry of our shared history, a testament to the enduring power of human adaptation and survival. From the heart of Africa, the Nile River flows, winding its way through diverse landscapes, from dense forests to arid deserts. It is a river of contrasts, a symbol of life and sustenance in a region where water is often scarce, a lifeline through the desert, its waters helping one of humanity's first great civilizations to grow. The ancient Egyptians relied on the Nile for agriculture, using its predictable flooding to irrigate their fields and sustain their communities. But the Nile's influence, like its waters, spread far and wide. Its tributaries reached into the heart of Africa, while its cultural and economic impact extended to Europe and Asia, creating a network of connections that spanned continents. It spread, carried by migration, trade, and conflict. People moved along the river, bringing with them goods, ideas, and innovations. The Nile was a highway of exchange, facilitating the movement of people and cultures. The Nile Valley civilizations, often seen as a lone source of knowledge in an ancient world, were actually a catalyst. Their innovations, their ideas, and their advancements in fields like writing, architecture, and agriculture spread far beyond their borders. Their very genes mixed with other cultures, sparking progress across continents. The intermingling of peoples along the Nile led to a rich tapestry of genetic diversity, fostering resilience and adaptability. The whispers of the Nile reached distant lands, leaving a lasting mark on the languages, the technologies, and the philosophies of those who encountered them. The river's influence can be seen in the spread of writing systems, scientific knowledge, and artistic traditions, and the very DNA of those who encountered them. The genetic legacy of the Nile's peoples is woven into the fabric of many modern populations, a testament to the river's role in shaping human history. The story of human civilization is not one of isolated progress, but of interconnectedness, of cultures influencing and enriching one another. The Nile was a central thread in this web of connections, linking diverse peoples and places. Of a grand, complex tapestry woven together through countless interactions, big and small. The Nile's long reach is a reminder of the power of connection and the enduring impact of shared human experiences. We look to the stars, searching for answers to the universe's mysteries. The vast expanse of the cosmos has always fascinated humanity, drawing our gaze upward and filling us with wonder. From ancient civilizations to modern astronomers, the night sky has been a source of inspiration and curiosity. We have built telescopes, launched satellites, and even sent humans into space, all in an effort to understand the universe and our place within it. Yet the biggest mysteries are often right here within us. Our own minds and bodies hold secrets that are just as profound as those found in the stars. The human brain, with its billions of neurons and complex networks, is a universe in itself. Our emotions, thoughts, and consciousness are puzzles that scientists and philosophers have been trying to solve for centuries. And then there's the heart, not just as an organ, but as a symbol of our emotions and connections to others. The story of humanity is in our genes, a complex story of migration, interbreeding, and cultural exchange. Our DNA carries the history of our ancestors, tracing back thousands of years. It tells tales of ancient migrations, of people moving across continents, of cultures meeting and merging. Each of us carries a unique genetic code, a mosaic of our shared past. This genetic diversity is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the human species. The journey from the Nile to the world is not a straight line, but a tangled web, showing the human desire to explore and connect. Our ancestors traveled vast distances, braving unknown territories and forging new paths. They crossed rivers, climbed mountains and sailed across seas driven by curiosity and the need to survive. These journeys were not just physical but also cultural, as they brought different peoples and ideas together, creating a rich tapestry of human experience. We are all products of this shared heritage, our own stories linked with the successes and struggles of those who came before. Every invention, every discovery, every piece of art, and every tradition is a thread in the fabric of our collective history. From the great civilizations of the past to the modern world, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. Their achievements and failures have shaped the world we live in today. The genetic revolution helps us trace these connections, to see beyond race and ethnicity, and to recognize the deep unity that connects us all. Advances in genetic research have revealed that we are more alike than different. Our genetic makeup shows that the concept of race is a social construct, not a biological one. By understanding our genetic heritage, we can break down the barriers that divide us and celebrate the diversity that enriches our lives. As we explore the mysteries of our past, we discover not only the origins of our differences, but the profound truth that we are truly one family, descended from common ancestors who lived thousands of years ago. This realization fosters a sense of unity and belonging, reminding us that despite our diverse backgrounds, we share a common origin. It encourages us to look beyond superficial differences and embrace the shared humanity that binds us together. Understanding this shared heritage is not just for academics. It is a vital step towards a future where diversity is celebrated and our shared humanity is our greatest strength. By educating ourselves and others about our interconnected past, we can build a more inclusive and compassionate world. Celebrating our differences while recognizing our commonalities can lead to a society where everyone feels valued and respected. This knowledge empowers us to work together towards a brighter future for all.